Gary Oldman is my hero. That's it. You know, he's like when I went to drama school, everybody used to quote him in all of his films, from State of Grace right through to, they used to do their impressions of him in Leon and whatever. And I'd sit there really quietly and think, no, you don't know. I'm more of a Gary Oldman fan than you are.
Gary Oldman, I've always been blown away by because he's such a good actor that he literally can't get famous because he's unrecognizable and everything. I just think he's amazing.
I'd love to meet Gary Oldman.
You've never met Gary Oldman?
Never met Gary Oldman because it's just like he's the actor's actor. And he's a legend.
Gary is the person that I keep coming back to time after time because he is, I regard him as pretty much the best England has to offer. I think he's just a wonderful, wonderful actor. He's given me guidance, both personal and professional, and and I'm always very, very grateful to him. And I think that, generally speaking, in the films, my acting is never better than when I'm acting with him.
I die really well, by the way. It's one of my strong points. Gary Oldman is the best. I'm pretty good, but I mean, if you look at what I do, then watch Gary Oldman, you'll see, well, he's not quite as good, and yeah, he's doing Gary Oldman. Like, Gary Oldman takes a bullet better than anyone you've ever seen.
Oh, he's a chameleon. I mean, he's a wonderful actor. He's one of those guys, my generation of actors, he's the guy that we worship. We looked at him, we watched him in Prick Up Your Ears, we watched him in Sid Vicious, and watched him in Alan Clark's work, The Firm, and even in very commercial things like Dracula. He was always both believable and emotional. Yeah. He found a way to move, talk, think differently. These characters didn't look like they belonged in the same street. Gary's characters didn't grow up in the same universe.
Working with Gary Oldman, he's my rock star as far as actors go. I mean, I just think he's one of the great actors of our time, and so it was a complete thrill for me.
It's inspiring to go opposite an actor of Gary Oldman's quality and standing, and he's been an acting hero of mine and my generation since as long as I remember being able to watch films that he was in. He's unique, and we get on incredibly well. There's no sides to Gary. He's not precious. He's an actor who began his life in the theatre like a lot of us do in England, and we've got a lot in common. Which you wouldn't necessarily think of on paper, but we adore each other. I've made a friend out of the experience of working with him, which is a really treasured thing.
I would just want to take the opportunity to thank one of my greatest heroes and one of the best actors in the world, Mr. Gary Oldman. His work have meant so much for me. I've been inspired and amazed by his work, and it have done so much for me. So, thank you.
One of the main attractions for me was the chance to work with Gary Oldman. Gary was the only one I can think of who was my age when I was about 22, where he was already a hero of mine. And I think he should be on his 7th Oscar win already. I don't want to see him join the ranks of great actors like Orson Welles, who've never won the Oscar.
The one that I'm really looking forward to seeing is Tinker Tailor. Gary Oldman sort of fronting it. He was a big hero of mine since I was 13, 14 years old.
Gary Oldman was somebody that really inspired me, because I'd often watch movies with Gary and not really realise it was him. Even when he wasn't covered in, in prosthetics or costume, he manages to disappear into his role, and I hope that I might be able to achieve something similar.
There's so many different performances that inspire me from different people. Gary Oldman, a friend of mine, who I think is one of the finest as well.
I'm actually quite jealous of Tom because he recently got to work a few occasions with Gary Oldman, and I think that's someone I think is somewhat of what you're talking about. Yes. Someone I revere as an actor and have watched for so many years and never been disappointed by.
How is he on set?
He's incredible. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. I love Gary Oldman. He's brilliant.
Gary Oldman is my cinematic crush in Dracula. It was just him with the accent and the hair and the humanity he brought to the character. That was it for me. I'd always loved his work, loved him as an actor.
Gary Oldman, I don't know what other things you do, but just keep acting, brother, because you it up for the rest of us.
Joseph, for you to be on a set like this and to work with, come on, this legend and everybody else, what was it? No, yourself.
I mean, specifically with Gary, a lot of my favorite actors are the ones who are chameleons, the ones who disappear into their characters, and you can't see the actor, you see the character. And this is a quintessential chameleon. Yeah, so I would just come to work and absorb and, be...